I had the table set for 8, crystal glasses, silver cutlery, a roast I'd basted every hour like it owed me its soul. I carved their names into place cards like a child desperate for attention. Mom, Dad, Ethan, Claire, me. I waited. The candles burned low. The food went cold. The silence grew louder. At 6:43 p.m., my phone buzzed. A message from Mom. We decided to eat at Ethan's instead. Happy Thanksgiving, hope you understand. No explanation, no apology, just absence, like I didn't exist. I sat there, alone, staring at their untouched plates, the hollow weight of it all pressing against my chest. When I finally picked up my fork, I couldn't swallow. Every bite tasted like shame, humiliation, years of pretending I wasn't invisible. That's when I heard the door creak open. I turned, expecting echoes or pity, but it was Grandpa. He looked around the room, at the cold dishes, the empty chairs, and finally at me. Still dressed like the perfect host, mascara smudged from holding it together too long. He walked over slowly, took the seat beside me, and said, "They were never coming, sweetheart. Not to this table. Not for you." I blinked. What? He reached into his coat, pulled out a folded letter, and slid it across the linen cloth. I wasn't supposed to show you this, but I'm too old for lies. It was from my mother, dated 3 weeks ago. Dad, please make sure Thanksgiving plans are at Ethan's. It's more convenient, and it's better if my name celebrates on her own. She makes things tense. I read it 3 times. Tense? I wasn't dramatic, I wasn't demanding. I was the one who remembered every birthday, every appointment, every little detail no one else had time for. Yet I was always too much, too thoughtful, too quiet, too eager to belong. And that day, I finally stopped pretending. It wasn't rage, not the screaming, plate-throwing kind. It was colder, calculated, sharp as the bone china they never ate off. I stopped calling, stopped showing up. I gave them nothing to resent because I gave them nothing at all. Until the trust fund. Grandpa passed 2 months later. Stroke, peaceful. At the wake, they showed up in all black and crocodile tears. Mom was scanning the room for someone important to impress. Dad shook hands like it was a networking event. Ethan talked about how Grandpa taught him how to fish, which was funny because Grandpa hated water. They didn't ask how I was, didn't thank me for organizing the funeral. But when the lawyer invited us into the study, they showed interest. Real interest. That's where it unraveled. Per the will, all assets, including properties and the $3.2 million trust, are to be inherited by my name. Silence. Mom blinked like she didn't understand English. Dad cleared his throat. Ethan laughed, actually laughed, then said, "That can't be right." The lawyer calmly slid over a notarized document. Grandpa's handwriting was clear. To the only person who ever sat with me when no one else would. They turned on me like dogs sniffing blood. Mom accused me of manipulating him. Ethan said I must have forged it. Dad, who hadn't looked me in the eye in years, told me I was being selfish. Selfish. I didn't yell. I didn't flinch. I reached into my bag and pulled out a USB. Here's a video of Grandpa recording the will. Date-stamped. Witnessed. Legal. Also, here's a copy of the Thanksgiving message Mom sent, just in case we're rewriting history. The room froze. Then Ethan snapped, "You think money makes you better than us?" I smiled, slowly. No, but it does mean I never have to sit at your table again. A month later, I heard they were applying for a home loan. Big house, bigger ego. Ethan's startup was failing quietly, and their current mortgage was underwater. Problem was, the bank needed a guarantor. And 6 months ago, I'd agreed, when I was stupid enough to believe they cared. So I revoked it, quietly, legally, right after the funeral. Didn't say a word. Until the day Ethan called me frantic. The loan fell through. Did you back out? I took a breath. Stay away from me, I said, echoing my sister's old message back to him. Then I hung up. I'm writing this from the sunroom of Grandpa's house. My house now. Morning light pours through the stained glass, and silence, for once, feels like peace, not punishment. I'm not bitter. I'm awake. I spent years trying to earn love that came with conditions. Years trying to pull up a chair to a table where I was always an afterthought. But Grandpa, he built me a new table. And I sit at the head of it, alone, maybe, but never begging again. They feasted on comfort. I learned how to survive on truth. And in the end, that's what they choked on. End.